Good evening. Well, good evening, everybody. Hello. Good evening, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us today. Please, can you hear me? Hello. All right, thank you very much for being here. Lovely Thursday evening. I'm sure a lot of people are still on holiday. We had a break yesterday, Salah and all that. I hope you're having a wonderful day. So in case you went to work, I hope you're having a great day at work. But thank you very much for being here. And thanks to those who responded in the comment section on TikTok. Thank you very much. Concilium, Waitami, Ayanfe, Oduakala. Thank you very, very much. Before we get on with today's session, let me thank folks on TikTok who have helped us get to 27.3K likes right here on TikTok. Thank you very much for your support. All right, thank you very much. I'm glad, that you're here. Ogbeni Agbe, Koboko, Concilium, Greater Me, everyone. Okay, just a name I can say right now. Abi71, Ibo Jinodu, everybody. Thank you very much for tapping. And Ayanfe Dumare, thank you so much. Ola Jumake Oli, Lagos. Thank you so much for power tapping. All right. So we're here. We're gonna have a great time together today. It's a Thursday, but we'll be discussing an event that is all over the place. It's something about the issue of weaponization of technology. We're getting closer to the 2027 elections, and we're beginning to see some new developments, right? I've been noticing this since AI took a new turn. All right, so if you remember, back in 2022, well, I don't know, in my field, we're working on a project, and that was when I was exposed to AI as it is right now. Of course, there was some form of AI before then, but by 2022, last quarter of 2022, ChatGPT came out. And people started using it for different things. Much later, you had, models that could create videos. And you remember the famous video of Will Smith, eating spaghetti and how awkward the entire thing looked. And there was essentially like a promise or a prediction that in the next maybe 12 months, the videos will be better. Then it got better. And then under 6 months, it got better, and so on and so forth. So now you can actually generate a video that looks so much like, Will Smith and anybody, in fact, and it's going to get even better or worse, depending on how you see it. So it's going to get better in terms of the production and the output, but it's going to get worse in terms of the perception. In other words, it's going to be very difficult for people to be able to separate truth from fiction, because what you're looking at, you have to really know what you're doing to be able to know if what you're looking at is the real stuff. Okay. And that's something we're going to be seeing more often. It's something we're going to be seeing more often, especially with elections coming. And a very good example was what happened yesterday. And I knew as soon as I listened to it that this was, AI. It's different from the other one that we're talking about after the last election. We're going to listen to that one also. But in case you don't know what I'm talking about, essentially, a video was released yesterday of this young man talking about President Tinubu. Now, when you listen to it, if you know about 11 labs and all of those things, you would know that you can easily do that. It's not something so difficult to do. All you have to do is to have a sample of the person's voice, and then you can set it to a script, and you can generate something in that person's voice. It's not something that deep. And that's why I was like, doctor, but it's out there, all right? And the young man VDM, the video came out, and a number of things happened afterwards. People saying things like, okay, you know what, he should be arrested, and so on and so forth. Of course, some other things have come out since then, and we're going to be talking about all of that today. Also, we'll be talking about the security situation in the Southwest. We are, making progress. Some things happened in the Southwest yesterday and today as well, and we're going to discuss that as well today. But let's begin. And by the way, at some point, I'll be able to bring you up so you can also, share your thoughts. We're going to have a great time. We're not coming on camera today, but that doesn't mean we're not going to have a great time together. Above my picture there, and join the team, drop a heart me, drop a gift or gifts so that we can push the live to the FYP together. And again, I thank those who are tapping, because that also helps to get the live to the For You page. If you're on YouTube, I'm glad you're here. Please like the live and also share with folks outside, everywhere and anywhere. If you're on Facebook as well, please like and share. And if you're on Twitter, please like and repost. Okay, so again, remember, this is not so much about the event Toshele. It is more about the weaponization of technology. And this is going to go beyond elections, of course. It's something that is going to affect us at individual levels, right? People are going to send you videos. You're not going to be able to tell the difference. Years ago, I remember when deep fakes were coming out in Hollywood. AI was not this, ubiquitous. At the time, they were talking about deep fakes, and you could actually create something in another person's face, another person's voice, and it looks so real. Now, it's crazier than then. So even in our personal lives, we're going to be confronted with the weaponization of technology that is designed to be able to obscure reality or to get us to think a certain way. That people are essentially going to be engineering society based on technological tools. So we have to be very, very careful. But today we're speaking specifically about the event about what happened yesterday. So I'm going to play you the video, and I'm going to tell you some of the things that came out afterwards, and we will go from there to discuss a number of things. And then when the time comes, you will be able to come up as well to share your thoughts. So that's what I was saying. The young man VDM, the video came out. Again, I don't like talking about personalities. We're going for the real cocoa, but only I feel sorry because it is what it is. I think I should do it this way, right? Let me read you an article from Vanguard, and then I'll play you what VDM said. All right, this is Vanguard newspaper. VDM should face law over fake Tinubu audio presidency. The presidency has called for social media influencer Martins Vincent Otse, popularly known as Very Dark Man, VDM, to face legal action over the circulation of an alleged fake audio involving President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. A special advisor to the president on information and strategy, Bayo Onanuga, made the call in a post on X on Wednesday, accusing the influencer of spreading false content on social media. Quote, this VDM needs to face the weight of the law for being the conveyor and disseminator of a fake audio of President Tinubu. This is a clear case of an egregious abuse of the social media platform, Onanuga wrote. Onanuga was reacting to a post by an ex-user identified as Anix, who questioned why some people believe the voice in the viral audio belonged to Tinubu. In the viral video, the VDM used the alleged leaked audio to urge Nigerians not to support President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's re-election bid in the 2027 elections. Here is the video. I'd like to quickly listen to it. Let's go. Please take a listen to this.
People watch it, we can't decide whether on a shrine they don't take cook on our mind. See this next video I'm about to play. After you people watch it, we can't decide whether on a shrine they don't take cook on our mind. All the people who want support Bola Ahmed Tinubu 2027. We can't know whether they don't cook your mind, so you no go get sense, or una dey okay.
They've been trying to take me out from the position, but it's not possible. And mind you, I'm winning this election. I don't care whatever is happening. Nigeria deserves it. Because when I was running as a president, they didn't wanted me. Now, all of a sudden, they want me to rescue them from insecurity. As of last week, I called Peter Obi to step down for me, but he refused. Now, I'm not begging him again. I will be whatsoever in my mind, and I will make sure the insecurity affects people in Southeast more. Listen, I am going to borrow more and more and more money from World Bank. Try to understand me. I wouldn't like to stop this insecurity, because if I do, how will our party be able to raise funds to win elections? Think about it. Even the loans I'm taking is to fund them. Also, I have planned after I'm done with my position as a president.
You have failed. So talking about jazz, except if they use jazz, and even if they use jazz on Nigerians, time don't reach where they say you go tap yourself. You go wash your body again, make you understand, say, this man does not have anything to offer come 2027. Any other option is welcome. But for me, myself and I, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu cannot offer us anything anymore. So it should go. It should go. It should go. Bola Ahmed Tinubu, it should go. Peace and love. Don't.
All right, so you heard that recording. I mean, personally, I don't think you have to be a rocket scientist to know that that was absolute nonsense. Number one, President Tinubu does not speak as fast as that. For whatever reason, old age, whatever, he does not speak as fast as that. Number two, they didn't wanted me. Sounds like a very stupid way of getting information across. Not because it's a mistake, but because the person Kogwebo cannot really speak good English. Number three, the content, right? The things the person said is something that belongs in the mind of a retard. In other words, it doesn't take a very sophisticated mind to come up with such ridiculousness. Even me, I will do this when I come. I will not do that. They will not come. I will not borrow money. Then I told Peter Obi to step down. He's not step down. I can tell you exactly. You can tell. Let me know if I can tell you. I have an idea where that thing came from, and I'm going to play you something much later, and then you can judge if they sound alike. So now this came out, and of course we have the video of VDM attached. And everybody started reacting, to the video. Some people are saying it's true. Of course, you don't have to be very smart to join the bandwagon of clowns in Nigerian political landscape. Oh, it's true. And it's exactly what's supposed to happen, and so on and so forth. And that's the reason for the response from Bayo Onanuga talking about why VDM should be arrested. Now, when he put out that statement, you would expect that, of course, VDM will probably come out to defend himself and say, oh, I didn't say that, that wasn't me, or I did it, or whatever. But that's not what he did. This is what he said in response, and I want you to listen closely. Again, this is not about the personality. I don't really care much for folks who are just always talking on social media. The point is about the idea of weaponization of tech, right? In our everyday lives, it's going to happen. And of course, it's going to also happen in 2027 elections. We can already see it. But before we get into all of that, I'd like you to listen. Or you know what, maybe I should read to you what Bayo Onanuga actually said, so that we can have that context when you are listening to VDM's response. Give me a second. So I read a bit of that from Vanguard earlier, but we might as well just okay. So somebody quoted that video, posted that video actually, and it says, the person's name is Anix on X. It says, how do you really convince someone who has already decided and believes in their mind that this is actually Asiwaju's voice? What kind of cheap propaganda is this? VDM knows that Igbos are highly emotional people. That's why he enjoys riding on their emotions. And then Mr. Bayo now responded. By the way, if you don't know, just in case you're living under the rock, Bayo Onanuga is the Special Advisor Information and Strategy to President Tinubu. He said, or he wrote, this VDM needs to face the weight of the law for being the conveyor and disseminator of a fake audio of President Tinubu. This is a clear case of an egregious, I keep saying that, this is a clear case of an egregious abuse of the social media. This is what VDM said in response to that statement from Bayo Onanuga. Take a listen, please.
This is 1:29 a.m. and I just came back from my business meeting. I'm just getting into the hotel room. So since the early hours of today, I've been in a business meeting trying to negotiate for the power station that I'm bringing to Nigeria to help the people with handwork and also the people in the ghetto. Now, while I was in that business meeting, I kept on receiving different calls. As a matter of fact, I have received more calls today than I've received throughout this year. I just did receive call. Eventually, I had to excuse myself when I went out to pick the call. Immediately I picked the call, I could hear fear in my friend's voice. Well, VDM, how far now? Why you go post that thing about Tinubu? I'm like, what are you talking about? He said, I beg, no matter what you do, don't come back to Nigeria now. Just stay in China. If you need money or anything, I can try to support you. But if you come back to this country, they are going to arrest you. I said, wait till they go on. As I was trying to talk to him further, China used VPN, so he kept on breaking. I could not really hear him, but I hear him saying something about Twitter. I ended the call. Another my friend called me again. He said, go and check what president spokesman just posted now. Bayo Onanuga. Go on. I was on the verge of a business meeting, you know. So I just quickly opened my WhatsApp. When I opened my WhatsApp, I saw this message from my friend, right? And then he said this. He said, somebody forwarded something to him and he forwarded to me. Send down to VDM, then he sent me a link. Tell him, say, person won't set him up. President spokesman don't go comment on X, on X. Why did they send this to me? See waiting by all the talk. Immediately I opened and I saw this from the president spokesman, Bayo Onanuga. He said, this VDM need to face the weight of the law for being a convener and a disseminator of a fake audio of President Tinubu. This thing, I clicked the audio. After listening to this audio, see, to the president spokesman, you are a very, very stupid old man. I'm not trying to insult you. Look at the dictionary meaning of stupid. That is the definition of who you are, what you represent. That is who you are. I swear to God, you are so daft. And this is the reason why I said President Bola Ahmed Tinubu should not come back in 2027, because all the people that operate under him, these people know they use their brain. You are so stupid. I know so now don't get me for mine, so this is part of an agenda. That is why you see this audio, I will not defend it. She will not say na me. And when I come back to Nigeria, I must feel the weight of the law. You know the shame. See how you open your mouth. You spread. You spread. Now you can talk. Now you can talk. Bandits went into a school in Oyo State. They carried 3 teachers. 1 man, 2 women. They carried students. One of the teachers was backing an infant child. Few days later, there was a report that one of the teachers was beheaded. Bayo Onanuga, where is your comment on that? As I speak to you today, today's Children's Day. Those children are still in an unknown location as we speak. We don't even know how they are faring. We don't know what they chop. We don't know where they sleep. We don't know what go down bite them. We don't even know if they see their life. You have never made comments about that. But today, you finally gave voice. Not because you care about the voice note, but because this is an opportunity to silence Very Dark Man. Yeah, Very Dark Man don't start to talk against Tinubu. And why is it? And then I saw, bro, today I understood what Twitter is. They are ready to be hired by anybody. Did you see the comments? Bro, I opened my mouth when I saw the comments. The end of Very Dark Man has come. He has been doing a lot. But this one may be his downfall. He shared a fake audio of President Tinubu. He has been using social media recklessly. I want to know if he's more powerful than the government this time around. Number one. Number two, VDM will be arrested and nothing will happen. He has gone beyond his reach. No protest will save him from this. Number three, from 1/6 some guy. The WhatsApp voice notes of bats that VDM just played can land him in serious trouble if the FG decide to investigate and send it to investigate who sent it to him. El-Rufai just left prison for this same matter of national security. If that one is not arrested because of this fake audio of the president which he exposed, then all right.
I don't know if this is a generational thing. But it's one thing to be brave. It's another thing to be self-destructive. Courage and arrogance sometimes look alike. They're not necessarily the same. And I don't get it. I see a lot of young people do this thing where they're acting as if they can do anything and just talk anyhow and just insult anybody. And that shock value, maybe that's what they're looking for, or just this defiance to be able to make it very clear that they can do and undo and nobody can stop them, because guess what? The world revolves around them. A lot of young people think like that, and it's a very stupid way of living life. The world doesn't revolve around anybody. The truth of the matter is that he did not make this video, VDM. I saw the video, so I'm very careful when I see videos or people send me stuff. I don't usually respond immediately. There's a reason. I don't want to be the first to break it. I want to actually understand what I want to speak, so I won't sound like a dumb person. So I try to understand what exactly I'm being sent. When you really, and I'm going to play you something very soon. When you watch the video itself was doctored. In reality, VDM is a victim of what President Tinubu is also a victim of. In other words, they took his video, let me say it this way, they took a sample of President Tinubu's voice, which you can find anywhere. I mean, it's very popular. Took the sound sample, wrote a script, a very stupid script, set it to his sound, used AI to generate it, put it on a video that VDM made for something else, and then presented it as VDM pushing that narrative, because VDM also has a very huge platform. So in reality, he is also a victim. But you see, this thing that young people, and I say young people because of social media. Social media is such a leveler where everybody just thinks that, I'm something. Once you have like 200, 300, 400, 5,000 followers and more, you can just talk anyhow. WhatsApp voice notes too. But hello? Apologies. It's the app. The app is going in and out. I hope you can hear me now. So yeah, you have a, thank you very much for the feedback. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Hello? Okay, thank you. So even right now, I'm supposed to be able to get feedback, but I can't. I don't know. I think it's the app or whatever. It's just misbehaving. But I'm glad you can hear me. That's okay. So here's the thing, right? you have this group of people who just want the president to fail, or just they're looking for something on him or whatever, and they're like, oh yes, VDM is the man, he's exposing the president, he has sent this voice note, and now the president is such a bad man, so yay. That group is actually a group of retards. The second group is the group whereby Onanuga belongs to. This audio is fake. President Tinubu did not say this. Number one, his speech is usually slower than this. It doesn't speak this fast. The cadence is also different. The mode is different. The tempo is different. The sound is similar, but it doesn't look like he's the one, because you can't just judge a person by the sound. You have to also look at other things, right? The mode, the tempo, the cadence, the way they speak in cadences, and so on and so forth. So you're like, okay, you know what? President Tinubu did not say this. Therefore, we're going to have to ask VDM where he got this from. Then there are those who waited for a while, and a while to so just like a couple of hours, to discover that even VDM himself was a victim of another group of people who actually use this video to push a narrative. However, even if you're a victim of something, you can't just go everywhere talking as though you are some people's Lord and Savior. If they want to discipline this boy, it should be because there is a way you have to speak. And I understand the anger, because you're like, can't you guys just notice that I'm not the one who said it? If you watch the video, there's no way you'll be able to tell if you didn't see the other videos that he actually made in Tofish's teaching. And I say this because we also make videos. People also take our videos and cut it and do things. People can do anything with videos, right? But you can't just assume that the spokesman to the president must have known, therefore you're going to insult him, and you're insulting him, you now become the champion, which is absolute nonsense. But to be honest, and I think it's important to say it very clearly, VDM is actually a victim. And I'm going to play you two videos, right? The one that he used, the one that he posted for something totally different, and then the one that's been circulated now. So again, I'll play you the video that we're talking about, the one that the same VDM made, or the president talking. Now I'll play you the original video that VDM actually made. All right. So let's take a listen to this, please. Sorry, I was looking at another device. I am surrounded. Hallelujah. All right, let's do this. Take a listen, please.
After you people watch it, we can't decide whether on a shrine they don't take cook on our mind. All the people who want support Bola Ahmed Tinubu 2027, we can't know whether they don't cook your mind. So you know go get sense. Or on a deal okay.
They've been trying to take me out from the position, but it's not possible. And mind you, I'm winning this election. I don't care whatever is happening. Nigeria deserves it. Because when I was running as a president, they didn't wanted me. Now, all of a sudden, they want me to rescue them from insecurity. As of last week, I called Peter Obi to step down for me, but he refused. Now, I'm not begging him again. I will be whatsoever in my mind, and I will make sure the insecurity affects people in Southeast more. Listen, I am going to borrow more and more and more money from World Bank. Try to understand me. I wouldn't like to stop this insecurity, because if I do, how will our party be able to raise funds to win elections? Think about it. Even the loans I'm taking is to fund them. Also, I have planned after I'm done with my position as a president.
You have failed. So talking about jazz, except if they use jazz, and even if they use jazz on Nigerians, time don't reach where they say you go tap yourself. You go wash your body again, make you understand, say, this man does not have anything to offer. Come 2027. Any other option is welcome. But for me, myself and I, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu cannot offer us anything anymore. So it should go. It should go. It should go. Bola Ahmed Tinubu, it should go. Peace and love. Don't.
All right. We're still going to, I like to do analysis. We're going to analyze that video, the audio that said President Tinubu said. This clown said here Tinubu leaked voice note on WhatsApp from ex-APC Senate member. He even called Peter Obi to step down for him. The people that made this actually, they are dumb. Very dumb. Like, you expect something, you can tell where those people are from. If you listen very well, you listen closely, you can analyze. I'm going to do it. I won't tell you exactly where they're from. I'm going to leave it to you, but I'm going to lead you to the point where you can decide. Any stupid person that listens very closely can tell exactly where the people that made this stuff came from. You don't have to think deeply about it. They even mentioned it in that video. People are dumb, and your God, Gosha. You know, seeing me. It's where you try to. It must be that we have a lot of ignorant people in Nigeria for this kind of thing to actually sell in the first place. So I think the government needs to work on our educational system. But if you listen closely, the person, that victimhood showed in what the person in the audio. It's a signature. It's there. Well, you know what? We're going to come back to that. Let me play you the other video, the other audio that it looks like they got this from. This was made earlier before in Toja Delanoye. Please take a listen to VDM again.
I will talk on my mind. I will talk on my mind, bro. You don't get head. You don't get head. See that thing when they wear for neck, no, they wear for neck again, they do anything. No, they wear for, they don't go put jars for them. Now, why people know you wear the goat shrine. You don't go put jars for your neck.
Alright, so talking about using jars and going to shrine. You see this next video I'm about to play. After you people watch it, we can't decide whether on a shrine they don't take cook on our mind. All the people who want support Bola Ahmed Tinubu 2027. We can't know whether they don't cook your mind. So you know go get sense. Or on a day okay.
Whichever way, by all means necessary. You must have electricity. And you will not pay for estimated bill anymore. A promise made will be a promise kept. If I can't keep the promise and I come back for second term, don't vote for me. That's the truth.
You heard him? This was when he was doing his campaign. He said the promise made will be a promise kept. That if he does not give Nigerians electricity, after 4 years, they should not vote for him. So it's not like I'm campaigning against him. I am putting his words against him. So there's no way we don't have electricity. As a matter of fact, let me even show you. For the very first time, since the inception, since the creation of Nigeria and the creation of Aso Rock, for the very first time, as you can see, Aso Rock to exit national grid by March 2026.
Discover the future.
So you see, the conversation about jazz was actually a response to another video. I mean, I saw this online, so it's not like I used one, but to be able to decipher what's happening, all I had to do was just hold on for a bit, listen to all sides, and know what the truth is. So from some of the things that he put out there, it looks like this thing is not actually from VDM. So what you have now is you have a fake audio of President Tinubu. You also have a fake video. Well, the video is real, but it's been doctored. That's one by VDM. 1 second.
And I come back for second term, don't vote for me.
All right. But here's the thing, right? There was a video that made the rounds during the last elections in 2023. I'm going to play you that video. I'm not going to tell you who is talking. I'll play you the video. Then I'm going to play you this audio that was supposedly made by the president. And you will now tell me if you notice similarities in the ideas, the very basis of the script. Because these are very, very not very smart people. Let me just say that so I don't say something harsh. So I'll play the first video, or the first audio. Since you're listening, I'll play the first audio. I want you to listen to it. Just pay attention to the thesis of the video, like the premise, the sound, the tone, and the goal. Take a listen, please.
Let me show you a WhatsApp. Let me read out a WhatsApp for you. Let me just show you a WhatsApp I sent to someone. Is there anybody here who can read very well? And everybody will gain? Yes. Yes. This is a WhatsApp sent by Tinubu's group. No, read it out. I want you to read that. Everybody can.
Power glad lab.
No, read through.
Okay.
Just read out what it says.
Yoruba, shine your eyes on. If you vote for Tinubu, is automatically voting for Seaport in South and Southeast. Then Igbos will stop coming to Lagos State to invest. Rather, they would go to Delta and River State. They may even stop building houses in Lagos. It will affect a lot of Yorubas. Yoruba Renu.
This is your content. He don't see the value of let's have something better. He reads all the confusion. And that's it. And he will support it. I'm not sorry, I'm not even.
No, that's okay.
You support him.
It's okay.
Once he comes here and give him one, he said Jagaban is the best candidate. Even when the man is not well. That's the problem of the country.
That was Peter Obi in 2023, reading what is glaringly fake in the name of a WhatsApp broadcast, saying that, you know, they had this conversation somewhere. They're saying Yoruba, no, they're against Igbo people. They'll not allow you to build your houses in Lagos. They can stop you. They will not even do port. If they do it, they'll take their houses elsewhere. Just absolute nonsense. But a presidential candidate shared that. Now, you don't have to think deeply to know that that makes no sense. So clearly, it was a doctored stuff. I'm not saying that Peter Obi was one that doctored it. I am not saying that, but I'm saying that he's reading nonsense. That what they are reading and celebrating as something from Tinubu's camp, clearly was something that a person who doesn't even know how to think very deeply wrote. So here's, you know what pains me the most? Let me tell you what pains me the most. If you're going to fake something, right? I mean, it's wrong to fake things, right? But at least have that intelligence to be able to convince perhaps the most intelligent person in the room. But you know, they made this for the masses, right? Any clown can just hear this and say, oh, they hate us. Now, if you compare this, what you just heard now, to this, tell me if you can find similarities.
You see this next video I'm about to play?
Just focus on what Tinubu is doing. What Tinubu is doing.
Cook on our mind. All the people who want support Bola Ahmed Tinubu 2027. We can't know whether they don't cook your mind. So you know go get sense. Or una dey okay.
They've been trying to take me out from the position, but it's not possible. And mind you, I'm winning this election. I don't care whatever is happening. Nigeria deserves it. Because when I was running as a president, they didn't wanted me. Now, all of a sudden, they want me to rescue them from insecurity. As of last week, I called Peter Obi to step down for me, but he refused.
Before we continue, do you know using my referral code RATEL1 can get you?
Sorry, I think there's a little issue there. I want you to listen to, 1 second. Okay.
I will be whatsoever in my mind, and I will make sure the insecurity affects people in Southeast more. Listen, I am.
Do you know how stupid a person can be to say that he will make sure the insecurity affects the Southeast more? In other words, of all the regions in Nigeria, he mentioned one. And there will be the particular region that he's going to make sure. How is he making sure that there's insecurity in Nigeria? He's the president of Nigeria. He's the president of Nigeria, but he's making sure that there is insecurity in the country. But no. He's not thinking about Northeast. He's not thinking about Northwest. He's not even bothered about the hot zones. He wants to make sure that there is more insecurity in the Southeast. How stupid is the person that made this video? When people put themselves in that place of victims, where when you're even trying to lie, you're victim, because victim it has become part of you. It's now part of your DNA. It just shows. You cannot even see. I do theater, right? I write scripts, I direct productions. When I'm writing scripts, right? Let's say I have, I don't know, 2, 4, 5, 6 characters. Doesn't matter. 10, doesn't matter. For each character, I have to become the person when I'm writing. In other words, when you hear, you know that Busuyi wrote, you may be able to tell that Busuyi wrote it because of my beliefs, right, or my philosophy. But when you listen to those people, you cannot hear me. In terms of the mannerisms and their thought processes, is going to be particular to the person. So, for instance, if you have a prostitute there, I'll have to think like a prostitute in order to be able to write a script for a prostitute or write the lines for the prostitute. This person could not even become Tinubu to be able to write a script for Tinubu. These are stupid people. You want to write a script for it because it's production at the end of the day, isn't it? You want to write something you're writing even if you want to prompt AI to write scripts for you. I mean, this is free class. If you want to prompt AI to write scripts for you, prompt engineering, you make the AI chatbot to take on the persona of Entoveshenko, not of just AI. As a kiniko, I want you to do this and that. As a consultant with such and such years of experience in this particular field, you have now told AI who AI is in that particular conversation. So AI is able to respond to you, not just generically, but is able to give you specific stuff that you actually need to be able to get whatever you need done. All right. That's basic prompt engineering. For script writing, you have to take on the persona of the character of the cast member or of that particular actor to be able to write the script for them. How on earth do you think that in the worst case scenario, Tinubu, we're talking about how he wants to make sure that the Southeast has more insecurity? You can make of that what you will, but you can tell exactly where that video came from in Nigeria. There's a particular region that made that video. Nobody has to tell you. You can decide it. Because you can still see the markers. The markers are literally in the video. I'm just telling you one. There are others. You can listen to it yourself. The markers are all over the place. The stamps. And it's amazing how you can even, I mean, before you start talking about IP addresses and how the video even came out in the first place, you can actually listen to something and tell the mindset of the people that made it. And whoever paid them should probably talk to them, because should probably ask for the money back, because that was a terrible production. Terrible production. It's a shame. It's a shame. And for VDM, people also need to talk to him. He needs to calm down. He's a young man. You can't be insulting people because you are right. Because it's not you are a victim to. And the truth is, to be fair, he is a victim in this particular narrative. He's not the one that did any video. He just did his own video and left it there. Somebody took it, and because he has that large following, all right, and he's somebody that everybody listens to, particularly the target audience of those who want to spread this rubbish narrative. So naturally, they would use this video to do that. I think that's probably the only sensible thing the person did. Every other thing was just absolute rubbish. People should, I mean, if you're going to see, the best counterfeiters. Let me not talk. Let me not say anything beyond that, because so one gentleman who had posted the video earlier put out a public notice earlier today, It says public notice. The person is GRV Stan. So that's the person's handle on X. GRV Stan. Public notice. For the sake of clarity, I wish to address a content recently posted on my social media page. Who posted it? I wish to address a content recently posted on my social media page. I want to clearly state that I neither created the content nor was I the first to publish it online. However, I fully understand the impact misinformation can have when they are not adequately verified. Going forward, I will ensure that every piece of information posted on my page is thoroughly verified before publication. Thank you for your understanding, continued support, and trust. I'll read some of the comments here. Adi Ademola says, you're a Peter Obi supporter, you're a Gbadebo supporter, and you're an obedient. Obviously, you're not working alone. That video must have gotten to you via a source that you must disclose. Someone else says, this one is Neo. It says, relax, it's just 2 to 3 years max, or a 7 million naira fine. Nothing you can't handle. You'll be in and out before you know it. Creator or not, once you post or retweet it, you are in the mix. Just pray they overlook it. This Elon Musk payout chase is going to land a lot of people in hot water. City Kush says, nobody's anonymous on social media. Another person says, now your page I first see him. This is Peterson. Now your page I first see him, guy. The Elon Musk money where you they find, you go see him. And then another person, Omashola Sage, says, you reveal the source of how you got the video and audio. Just calm down. My best advice for you right now is to take the next available night bus to either Ghana, Cameroon, or the Benin Republic, or better still, use one of the northern borders and cross into the Niger Republic. So here's the thing, and this is to all of us. If you're on X, X pays people, so a lot of people want to put things out. The other day, I think just last week, a young man was arrested. Was it 2 weeks ago, thereabout, for saying all kinds of things about Tony Lumelu? All this, I want to be the first person to say it so they'll know that they're following me. 2 days ago, they arrested one clown who said there was a bandit attack in Ogun State. They arrested him. Turns out he was just making content. He now said, I was just looking for followers. Why did you do it just for followers? Please be careful what you share on social media. Try and verify things. If you don't share it, you will not die. Just take your time, create something that you can defend. Everything I've said today, I can defend. Okay? You have to be careful because you don't know. So don't be in a hurry to post things and then now begin to explain. And even in the explanation itself, there's no rest. The person did not even take responsibility for anything. It's just that I want to clearly say I did not create it, no, but you are pushing it. And to make matters interesting, you are obedient, where your brain is not really required now to become a member of the movement. They just talk and put anything out. By the way, the original video that VDM made, it was speaking against Tinubu, but I think it's okay for a citizen to be able to speak against the president. For instance, you don't have electricity. You are judging Tinubu based on that. You have a right to do so. Because Naim be president, Naim promise saying go fix him. You can talk about the details of what you're saying, whether he said you should not vote for him, all of those things, but you have a right to do so. But when you go beyond criticizing the president, again, you can, I believe that Nigerians should be bold enough to question President Tinubu. Why? He was one who asked that he wanted to be president. Nobody said, come and become our president. He's working for us. So you can criticize him. You can call him to question. But to doctor things like this and push a narrative, an agenda against him as a person, it will land people in hot water. But everybody will be all right. I'm going to bring some people up right now. If I say a couple of people want to speak, I'll bring you up. If you're on other platforms, or if you're on YouTube or on Facebook or on Twitter, please send a message to Telegram. Busrio is my Telegram handle. I'll call you. But we're going to bring people on TikTok. We'll talk about this and then we'll go to the next topic, which has to do with security in the Southwest. But remember, this is actually about the weaponization of technology. It's not so much about VDM, Tinubu, or whoever made that clip. It's about the fact that we are entering a different era in human history, okay, where you will not be able to believe your eyes because you can't tell the difference between fake and real, unless, of course, you are trained. And even if you are trained, you have to really calm down. So if you ask me, your primary weapon is not even AI detectors or another tech. Your primary weapon is patience, is observation, is to calm down. And I'm advising us so that we don't become, victims of what's coming, because it's going to come. In fact, it is here. People are going to, some people even use some people's voices that they will lie to you. Somebody sent me one message. Somebody told him something that somebody said. Koti fact check is already going out and saying that don't let us fight. I'm like, childish behavior. People will weaponize other people against you. They will take their voices and create something and say, he said that, he said that, she said that, he said. If you are going to make progress in this next dispensation of humanity, you got to calm down so that machine and terrible human beings will not be able to take advantage of you. All right. So before we talk about, but there are technological clinical that can detect whether it is fake or clinical, you first have to learn patience. Don't be in a hurry to break the news. Calm down. And that money from Elon Musk, I hope it doesn't get people in real trouble. Because people are just talking nonsense on that X platform just to be able to become big and make money. I don't know what they want to use the money for. What I want to use the money to pay lawyer that will come and bail you from the wala. It is well. Let's bring some people up on TikTok. Thank you very much for listening. All right, we have. Okay, so again, we're talking weaponized tech, VDM and Tinubu. Afterwards, we're going to go to the Southwest Security. So right now, everybody that comes up is speaking specifically about, the weaponization of technology. Thank you. All right, thank you. Thank you very much. Please mute as soon as you get up. Thank you. All right, let's have Ade Mola Omoba. Good evening, sir.
Yeah, Prof. How you doing?
I'm very well. Good to see you.
Prof, I have a question though.
Yes, sir.
When does the propaganda end? And I'm going to go straight to the point, right? I'm going to call out names. When does the propaganda from these Igbos end? Like immediately I saw that video yesterday.
How did you know the propaganda was from Igbos?
Prof. Immediately I saw the video yesterday, I knew this is where this first of all, I knew it was fake. Right? And I'm so disappointed in Mr. Bayo Ononuga for coming out with his full chest. Hey, we're going to arrest VDM. Oh, God, verify first now. Verify first. Like, why would you just come out and say, like, I was disappointed in him because it shows he wasn't competent in his job. And, Prof, there is only one region, like you said, that will create that propaganda and post it online. Or was it not them? Were they not the people responsible for it?
Were they?
Prof. Prof, for how many decades now? Which particular tribe, right, has gone out of their way to demarket our country and to cause confusion and to just make people hate whichever president is in power, whether the person is Yoruba or Fulani or whatever? Which particular tribe has been responsible for that? We know who these people are, Prof. When does the propaganda end? Nnamdi Azikiwe had his own propaganda, Chinua Achebe, all of them. These people deal with propaganda and lies, Prof. They thrive off propaganda. They cannot amount to anything in life. I'm sorry to say. And they've made an enemy out of every single region in the country. Imagine posting a video like that. And Prof, it's so disappointing that it shows that a lot of Nigerians are actually very foolish and stupid. Because why would any right think VDM is a smart guy? I don't agree with everything he does, though. I'm not his fan, though. But definitely VDM knows that posting something like that will definitely come with a lot of consequences. Why would VDM post that when he's not stupid? That's why I say I'm disappointed in Mr. Bayo Ononuga or whatever that guy is, that spokesman.
No, so hold on, please. So again, we also have to give grace. So personally, when I saw the video, I knew that the audio was fake. I wasn't sure about the video, so I didn't talk about it. He is a spokesman to the president. His own goal is to essentially protect the president's image, so to speak. And so speaking out at the point, I think it's okay. However, to be honest, I think it could have waited just a little longer to be able to understand it. But I don't want to go ahead and say, it's disappointing, because excuse me, if it has not happened to you, just let's all just learn patience. That's the only thing I can say out of all of these things, because where we are going, last a couple of months ago, some people were using the video, this woman's video, Madam Ibukwa Oshika. They were using her video for a I don't know what they call it, like this investment, whatever, that she didn't know anything about. They've used Jimovia's stuff. They even use Pastor Poju's stuff. They've used all kinds of people. So, and the funny thing is, where we are going right now, everybody has to just calm down. The only thing I can say is that he wasn't patient enough to know it. But I don't want to say, oh, I'm disappointed, because it's actually going to be a lot more difficult to be able to, tell who is who, where we are going with technology these days. But I appreciate your submission, and I get it totally. All right. Thank you very much. Let's go to sorry, before we go to Bumblebee, Dr. Badru on TikTok says, remember the Sudan of Jubril tag on Buhari? Wow. It's the same thing. Sorry, I have to be see. Let me just say something before Bumblebee. Everybody, whatever you're putting out into the world, please think of, there's nobody that's perfect, though. There's nobody that's perfect. But you see, whatever it is that you're putting out into the world, especially when you're designing it to hurt somebody else, number one, don't hurt people. Number two, if you do that kind of thing, it's going to come back and hurt you. I'm going to play you a video. Okay, I don't have to play any video. The point is just that whatever propaganda machinery that Azikiwe was able to perfect in the 1930s and used to amass some wealth, that became a state strategy through him and the Igbo National Caucus and the Igbo Federal Union, that now became something they use in Biafra, and that they are still using to the point where educated people actually believe there's a Jubilee of Sudan. That thing is alive and well. And people have to I don't even care whether they change or not. I'm just telling all of us, number one, don't go around trying to use propaganda for others, because when you are done using that propaganda for other people, your children will use it for themselves to the point where they will not know the truth, the difference between the truth and lies. That's why there are more propaganda coming from the south. Everybody should just be prepared. It will be mostly stupid, but everybody will believe it, at least from a particular part of the country. Let's go to Bumblebee. Good evening, Bumblebee.
Good evening, Prof.
Welcome, sir.
To come on this live right now to drop my own contribution. First of all, I beg to differ from what Mr. Ademola said. When you say somebody is smart and their claim to fame is that they were sharing their own pornographic content on social media, please.
Jesus is Lord.
Standard. That person is not smart by any standard. And there's something called credibility. That guy he has lost credibility from the get-go. So whatever he's saying on social media, whatever he's saying out there, is not a morally sound human being or individual. So I don't know where we've gotten to, how the moral decadence in this country has gotten to that guy is given the kind of clout that he gets, or the continued support that he has. Moving on. First of all, I'm not surprised if somebody can falsify. Let me say, if somebody can duplicate other people's creative work, can sell their movies in traffic, can duplicate it, can make false copy, pirate it, and do all that sort of things to people's creative work. Why are you so surprised? If they can create fake drugs, and sell it and make money out of it, why are you so surprised that they're going to doctor basic political videos and put it out as propaganda? When people go all around the world, there's this Instagram account. It's crime. The name of the Instagram account is Crime Asia. Together, no spacing, no nothing, no hyphen, nothing. Just Crime Asia. Go there and see the demography of people that are there. See their names. See the crimes they are committing in Thailand and all over Asia. And this is not the worst part. There are these particular people, this tribe of particular concern from Nigeria. When you go there and you see the names there, and now go to the comment section, there is no sense of accountability. The next thing you will see there, the same people from this same tribe of particular concern are going to be saying, what you see there is Nigeria has failed this person. Nigeria has shaken this person. If the country was good, this person won't be committing crime where they are. You have left, let's say, okay, assuming but not considering that the country is that bad, you have gone to a country where there are opportunities. Why can't you start earning honest living? Why can't you start being a security guard? Why can't you go to McDonald's and start selling burgers or something? You will make minimum wage and you will be fine. So the problem is not that you can't make a living. The problem is that you are criminally minded. That is the issue. So we go business, we know who these people are. They're the ones tainting the name of the country all over the world. Nobody came out and said Nigeria has failed Hush Puppy, and that's why Hush Puppy was doing all the crime he was committing in Dubai. Nobody came out to make excuses for him. This is the level we are. In as much as they are not going into the bushes and kidnapping people and shooting and carrying cows up and down, they have their own fair share of evil they are doing to tarnish the image of this country. They have, even though it's subtle and even sometimes not so subtle, only buruku ton any country to ruin things, to spoil things, to destroy the countries. So I don't make any excuses for them. So it's obvious. You can see their handwriting all over it. It's not even well disguised. It's terrible. They're hiding behind the finger. So there's no need. We shouldn't just give them any unnecessary attention that they are seeking for. Thank you very much, Prof.
Thank you very much, sir. And let me just quickly, remind us. We're talking about weaponization of technology, VDM and Tinubu. And like I said, while of course we're talking about the particular event, which is of course a video that has been out for about 24 hours now, right? It's not really about the individual, right? Or that's VDM. To be fair, like I said earlier, he's also a victim. They doctored this video, created an AI clone, so to speak, of Tinubu's voice, and then put it together and then put that out there. So he's also a victim. However, when you listen very closely, you can tell the origin. So it's not so much about the person whose name is all over the place, because he's also a victim, but you can tell where that thing came from because of the markers that are present in that audio. But there's something that was a particular video that trended a while back. I don't know if you heard it. I'm going to play it in your hearing so that you can put two and two together and then make of it what you like. Take a listen, please. Please.
See, if P2B doesn't want to, if he wants to be president, that is his own personal ambition. It's not our own ambition. So let nobody give you that excuses of you are trying to make other Yorubas that are supporting P2B not to change their mind. They should fucking change their mind. P2B's presidency will not change me. It will not change even 30% of Igbo population. So let us die down all those politics of a thing. We have not started the bigotry, and that is paining me. We have to create bigotry WhatsApp group where we now edit and start distributing them, telling fake stories. We have to. In fact, we will pay to.
Does these Igbo people even have common sense at all?
All Fox News, Al Jazeera, so that people will start seeing all these things. Let us start changing the narrative. Man, you are doing
fake stories about Yorubas.
Because if it's bigotry, we have to stop doing the real propaganda. We have to start painting the color. We don't have to start bringing real stories. Real stories are not bigotry. We have to start bringing fake ones, give it highlighted.
Painting Yorubas bad.
Take it up from
you
there.
Are so dumb.
And for crying out loud, when we are growing up, we heard
these people don't even know they can end up in prison.
The Igbo race was the first people that embraced education in Nigeria. Go and fact check. That was why the so-called the fake for them to catch up. And still yet they didn't catch up. If you bring out a Yoruba first class and stand that person with an Igbo first class in any field, in any discipline, and compare. Let us compare, because you cannot tell me people that are intellectually sound in their own town or region will not see a Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the preferred candidate to lead them. So that's their leader defines who they are. Your leader defines who you are. Do you understand? You cannot run away from your leader. The people that are not supporting, that are quiet, they are also supporting.
ChatGPT can
So here's the thing. A person is saying they're going to go out of their way to create fake news, fake story, create propaganda, and spread bigotry. And while the person is speaking, he actually dropped a propaganda right there by saying that when Western education started in Nigeria, that the first people that had access to it were Igbo people. This is stupidity. As in the 1870s, 1878, 1879, we already had a lawyer who was Yoruba. Okay, 1857 was when Sam Ajayi Crowther got to Onitsha. Right, and then he said it was one who took me the missionary work to there. You know, everywhere the missionaries went, education, Western education, followed. That was how they got educated, though. So even in the midst of that nonsense that she's saying, she still dropped another lamba. In other words, it looks like the idea is just say anything, just push anything. But I think what's actually quite instructive was where she said that they are going to create fake stuff and fake stories and put it out there. I don't know how a person can be this. It is well. All right. Let's just finish listening to it. Then we're going to bring up Mimi. Take a listen, please.
You can never see any Yoruba in opposition castigating Tinubu, but it was only the Igbos in opposition that are castigating P2P. Check. You can never see them talk about Tinubu ills. It was only.
This is just nonsense. I don't think we should listen to it, because how do you say they are speaking against him and is able to get 92% in some states, 94% in some places, 86% in some places, and they are speaking against him? Just a bunch of irritants. Let's go to. Okay, I'm going to bring one more person. Let me just do that now so that it doesn't affect you when you begin to speak. Madam Mimi, are you there? Are you there? Okay, please go on. Ẹkáàbọ.
Yes, sir. Continue. There are two tapes that I want to talk about. The first one is the one they said Tinubu said. It is so fake that, I don't think, I think the first thing they needed to have done was to trace the source and clamp down on the source. Now, the second one. Yes, the second one, played the one that Obi was saying that Yoruba man was so bothered. That's exactly what we want, actually. So I don't know how anybody can believe that stupidity. The one that Obi's minion was saying that Tinubu said Yoruba should ronu Ibo ni kole si ile Yoruba mo and all that. Anyway, so those tapes are very stupid. But here's the problem. Stupidity travels far. So Igbati QAnon bẹ̀rẹ̀ níbí by about 10 years ago when Obama was president, there was this group that started QAnon and all that with outlandish things. Some people waved them off. Some people took them serious. Today, Candace Owens is the #1 podcaster on earth. She has millions of followers. She's a QAnon person. Those things brought out a lot of people, and even terrible information travels far. So the first thing I suggest Tinubu should still have a cabinet level information management system. In this era of AI, it's unheard of. The president Nigeria a whole team managing his information. A special assistant may try, but they're not going to do what a whole team of information managers will do. The second thing, even here, they control social media. But rubbish down on social media. There needs to be a clampdown. At this point in time, some of us who are mothers are worried about TikTok being their information manager, where they were posting porns. Teenagers will post themselves on TikTok live, sleeping with each other. That TikTok was even the one that told them, TikTok live, Latin Naijamo. When you are so amoral that TikTok is even the one that is telling you that then you know that someone needs to clamp down on information management in Nigeria. Information coming out of Nigeria is out of whack. People from the southeast, their manner of upbringing, the way we raise Yoruba children, we may not realize it. Even other children from other parts of Nigeria. I've interacted with many people from Nigeria. Home training, because even when we define opinion from our elders, we don't talk down at elders. So my own point is, when Trump comes down on opposition, people don't realize that TikTok was sold to the person Trump wanted. Elon Musk is in Trump's camp. All the media in America, even CNN that used to be fairly liberal, is no more liberal. Trump has replaced all of them with buyers and, our Republicans to low ragbo, no funny first option. So there's really no absolutely free system where anybody runs their mouth anyhow. If they try it in America, I realize we only contain only so against Trump. There's a limit to that free speech, even in the United States. So it's about time that Tinubu and whoever is in charge in Nigeria stops all this nonsense. First of all, they are not projecting Nigeria in the best light, posting porn and any boundaries more. And I feel, and I told a friend of mine this, that the biggest influence on Nigerian social media conversation are the Igbo people and their culture. Just go on Tunde Ednot or any of these blogs. Mannerless behavior, insults to anybody. There's nobody they cannot abuse or say anything about. But say something not even abusive about their like you call them, the Lord and Savior, they will come on your case. And that's a problem. And like Bumblebee said, he actually said something I was about to say, that people that don't have a problem faking cancer drugs don't have a problem faking your words. So the best thing to do is information level management on a cabinet level that will have experts in deepfake, DSS people that will pull all these things as soon as they happen. You pull it. Don't even let it travel. And anybody that disseminates it should be dealt with. It's not military. It is how they do it, even in the so-called Sena climbs. There's a limit to what I can say against Donald Trump or Pritzker, my governor. Anywhere. So I don't even know why President Tinubu is acting like he's so laid back about these things. It travels far. That's why I hated Tinubu. 2023, I was for Obi. I campaigned for Obi online. That's because the balablu that they were playing with him peeing on his pants was effective. So if you take but they're not smiling, they know what they're doing. That's why they're telling themselves in those groups to go and disseminate fake information. So whoever has access to Tinubu should tell him to do it. No, Nigerians will post with social media more. It's annoying.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And that's a really good submission. The other day, there was this thing that led to the clampdown on Twitter. Then it became, they're not letting us speak. They're going for freedom of speech. There's something that Olamide said, in one of his songs. I think it's Enyame Weather. He said, freedom of speech day, I no go dull you, but freedom after speech, I can't assure you. People, when they talk anyhow, they carry people, and that's why we should be very careful of the things that we're putting out there. But to be honest, I think there's a culture in some places of faking things, of creating fake products. Okay, and it's something that goes way back, at least in documented history, at least 80 years. And it's a shame that kind of thing is now being brought into the political landscape, where people are saying things like, we're going to just keep putting out propaganda and just keep pouring fake stories just because there's a particular candidate that they want. We already know that when that person gets there, faking on the and it's such a shame. So we're going to Remy guy, people can change. People have their reasons for doing anything, and the point is that where we are right now, people have changed their minds. Everybody, and again, let me make this very clear: not supporting President Tinubu does not make you less intelligent or like less Yoruba. if for whatever reason you can support any other person, I just don't think that it's very smart to support Obi, especially in 2027. In 2023, it's understandable. Maybe you didn't know enough, or you were angry with the president, you were angry with Nigeria, you were angry with NSAS, you were angry about everything. Okay, anger did not really allow you to see it. But this is 2027. You can't really be following that kind of person. There's nothing. There's no substance. Shallow Jew. $80. It's too shallow. Like, what exactly? You ask questions. The person is you're asking for any K. So we're going to a point where whoever you want to, I want President Tinubu to win, and he's going to win by God's grace, and I want you to support him. But regardless of who you're supporting, at least have a person that you can that when you talk, you're not going to sound like a total retard. Which is what I see when people try to explain some of the ridiculousness you see on social media from certain so-called candidates, but it is what it is, I guess. We're going to move on from this and we'll go to the next speaker. That will be CEO. But before CEO, let me bring somebody up so that there won't be any interruptions when you're speaking. All right. Good evening, CEO Shewa.
Good evening, Prof.
Welcome. Thank you.
Nigeria will be better in our time.
Okay,
I have two concerns and one worry. To start with, when I saw that video, like you have asked, rightly analyzed it, both Tinubu, both the president and the very dark man are victims. Because immediately I saw it, I knew it cannot come from him. Then on further probe, I realized that even the video itself, the proposed originator is not the originator. It was just somebody manipulating stuff. But the thing is, and what people don't realize is that video can be tracked. It's got headers, it's got everything, IP address, loading, origin source, everything. To the person that created it, it can be tracked if we really want to, if the government want to do what they need to do. But unfortunately, we can't, somebody was saying Bayo Onanuga was AC. No, you can't blame him because the person actually also created a clone of Very Dark Man's account on Twitter. So it was posted on a Very Dark Man handle, which may not necessarily be his own handle. So he also has a lot of explaining to do, and he's coming out to now call out Bayo Onanuga and start insulting and abusing him. That's a far cry. I wish there was a law in Nigeria that could deal with that, but unfortunately, he might get away with it. Probably we'll just call him for some sort of questioning in the process of interrogation, but the insult he has heaped on Bayo Onanuga, I think he might get away with it. Then my worry and my concern is this. We have gotten to a level in Nigeria, both Nigeria as a nation and then the government, that we now need to begin to invest seriously in AI for governance. Because the sad part of this whole thing is that this narrative, once you push it out there, if there's no counter narrative, when people go online to search, that is what they will get. So if there's nothing else to counter it, they won't get that. If somebody said today, the current president is mad, that is what he's going to store. ChatGPT will store it, Google will store it, all the AI will store it. But if there's no counter narrative to say, oh, this is actually false or this is untrue, then it stays like that. And that's where my worry is. Even the person that created this one the person is not sharp. Like you said, is a retard. Because they will do it in such a way, there's a way they will do it that for you to even begin to detect it as an expert, you need to actually use certain tools to begin to break it down frame by frame, analyze the pitch, analyze the octave, before you be able to determine if this is actually fake. But like you said, they are who they are. And like I said, my worry is with Nigeria stepping up in terms of, I think at some point, as much as I don't want social media to be censored, the government need to begin to talk to these companies, these social media companies in Nigeria, that look, for Nigeria, maybe certain new rules should begin to apply. And once you create an account and sign up, you need to accept certain terms and conditions which will guide what you do within the space of Nigeria. And if you violate that, then the companies themselves will take the appropriate action rather than the government taking the appropriate action, because it's just too much. It's everywhere. You open the internet, you see all kind of stupid, irrational stuff. And like the last speaker said, look, unfortunately, I don't have younger children anymore, but of course, I look forward to having grandchildren. And I don't want them to see all these very stupid things going on the internet. And we also, as our people, also need to wake up to realize that it's not everything that we see that we take, that we just accept and take like that. We need to probe and interrogate some of these things that we see on the internet. And as much as we can, even if the government is not doing it, we also should be able to push out narratives there that counter some of these narratives, so that at least the algorithm can store and also project our thoughts in a positive manner. Thank you, Prof.
Thank you very much, sir. That was a fantastic submission as well. I'm really glad that we're having this conversation. There's someone on YouTube here who says, this is Lato Laxes. I'm enjoying the quality of the conversation. Well done, guys. Thank you very much, and you're welcome as well. And there's someone on TikTok said something about the fact that Nigeria should have cyber laws. Nigeria does have cyber laws. All right. So if you look at the Cyber Crimes Act of 2015, as amended by the 2024 Act, it has several provisions, and specifically when it comes to deep fakes, when it comes to all these things. Let me read something to you. This has to do with if you create a deep fake. Bro, I want to read you the exact stuff. Section 24. The law makes it a criminal offense to knowingly send a message back. Let me go read it from Lex Initiative, because I think it's also important to use this opportunity to get into some of the provisions of the law, so we understand the fact that these things are there. All right. By the way, Madam Mimi mentioned a particular video. I'm going to play that in a bit. All right. So the 2024 amendment rewrites Section 24, which deals with cyber stalking. The new version focuses on messages that are pornographic or false and are sent with the intention of causing a breakdown of law and order or threatening someone's life. This can apply in cases where women can receive threats or are targeted with harmful sexual content that clearly puts their safety at risk. Also has to do with image-based abuse, deep fake content, patterns of harassment, and so on and so forth. And this is from Lirad, Nigeria, by the way. And the penalty for that is a fine of up to 7 million naira, imprisonment for up to 3 years, or both. Okay. Section 13 also talked about inauthentic data. The penalty is also imprisonment for not less than 3 years, a fine of not less than 7 million naira, or both. And then there's identity theft. Section 22 is about identity theft and impersonation. Imprisonment for up to 5 years or a fine of up to 7 million naira. All right, so these things are there, and folks who are creating this nonsense in the name of, for the most part, this is actually a political conversation. Tabarili Wodada, and this is because of next year's election. I mean, from the content itself, you can tell. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to play you what happened in 2023. Then I'll play the video in question, the one we've been talking about all day, and then afterwards we'll have the next speaker. Please take a listen to this.
These are things that will change. Let me show you a WhatsApp. Let me read out a WhatsApp for you. Let me just show you a WhatsApp I sent to someone. Is there anybody here who can read very well? And everybody will hear him? Yes. This is a WhatsApp sent by Tinubu's group. No, read it out. I want you to read it out. Everybody can.
Power glad leg.
No.
Okay.
Just read out what it says.
Yoruba, shine your eyes on. If you vote for P2B, is automatically voting for seaport in South and Southeast. Then Igbos will stop coming to Lagos State to invest. Rather, they will go to Delta and River State. They may even stop building houses in Lagos. It will affect a lot of Yorubas. Yoruba Renu.
This is your content. He don't see the value of let's have something better. He reads all the confusion. And that's it. And he was about it.
That's a presidential candidate being to be honest, you've got to really be, I don't want to use the word infantile, to believe some of these things and to even read it out as though you were there when they were writing it. So that was what it was in 2023. This is what it is now in 2027. Please take a listen to this.
I'm about to play. After you people watch it, we can't decide whether on a shrine they don't take cook on our mind. All the people who want support Bola Ahmed Tinubu 2027. We can't know whether they don't cook your mind. So you know go get sense. Or on a deal okay.
They've been trying to take me out from the position, but it's not possible. And mind you, I'm winning this election. I don't care whatever is happening. Nigeria deserves it. Because when I was running as a president, they didn't wanted me. Now, all of a sudden, they want me to rescue them from insecurity. As of last week, I called Peter Obi to step down for me, but he refused.
Before we continue, do you 15K on Card Cosmic app instead of
Insecurity affects people in Southeast more. Listen, I am going to borrow more and more and more.
beg me for money?
Now, I'm not begging him again. I will be whatsoever in my mind, and I will make sure the insecurity affects people in Southeast more. Listen, I am going to borrow more and more and more money from World Bank. Try to understand me. I wouldn't like to stop this insecurity because if I do, how will our party be able to raise funds to win elections? Think about it. Even the loans I'm taking is to fund them. Also, I have planned after I'm done with my position as a president.
You have failed. So talking about jazz.
Now, like we said earlier, when you listen to that video, you can tell that not only is it fake, the author is also not very smart, because the only thing they got from the president is the voice, not the timbre, not the tone, not the tempo, not the way he does his cadences. None of those things really matter to them. They just wanted that voice, and then they created something that the president will say things like he's borrowing money because of the election. He's going to make sure that there is, all kinds of things in the country so he can win. Some of these things are retarded, but it's also different from what Peter Obi shared earlier, where they're saying that they saw something that Tinubu's people are pushing. So essentially, what happens is a group of people sit down in one lungu, come up with a very stupid idea, and then project it to another group, and then they begin to say that the other group said it. And so the only difference is that last time they were very clear saying that it was from Tinubu's platform. Right now they're saying it is VDM, and like we said earlier, VDM did not say it, and he's also a victim, although he needs to learn how to speak. You don't talk to elders, especially when there are people who, but anybody could have made that mistake that Bayo Onanuga made, assuming that it was VDM that made that video, because it looked exactly like that video. And just like the gentleman said earlier, there's actually a page on TikTok, like a clone page for VDM. And it happens when a lot of people become popular, people would create accounts in your name and push content through those accounts. So the unsuspecting public sees that, and then they assume you're the one making the content. And I think that's probably what happened, with Bayo Onanuga. But even then, we all have to be careful how we consume, content on social media, and also what we put out. Be careful what you're putting out, because you're responsible for it. All right, you can't be defaming people and be putting out deep fakes and say I'll just doing content. You will pay. The other one, be careful what you're also consuming. Okay, there are people. Most of Nigeria, we think we're educated, but for the most part we're not. Because you hear, and I've said before, if a lot of people believed in Jubilees of Sudan, it tells you that. And that's even a crude, if you think about it, there's nothing sophisticated about that. It was just repetition. Jubilee of Sudan about Buhari, that period, was just repetition. In other words, it's the hallmark of propaganda, repetition. So you make a matter black and white, you take it and then you repeat it over and over and over and over again until people begin to believe. That's all that happened with Nnamdi Kanu and the Jubilee of Sudan thing. This time, it's a bit it's a bit sophisticated, a bit more sophisticated, where beyond just repetition, you now have deep fakes, so you can make videos of a person saying something. So not just that, it's not just where somebody is saying something, or you are hearing someone say something. Now you can see somebody and hear them say something that they never said. So we all have to calm down when we're listening or watching. If there's anything we're going to need in this weaponization of tech, which is going on and which is going to get worse, one of the major things we're going to need, of course, would be patience, right? I have some materials here that talk about weaponization of technology. There's a particular article on ResearchGate, when seeing isn't believing, the legal implications of AI video misperception in Nigeria. It's a very interesting work by some students of Faculty of Law, Redeemers University. I think it's actually quite nice. So if we have time, probably go into it, or you can check it out later, just to say that we should educate ourselves about what's happening in our space. Thank you very much. So we'll go to the next speaker. I'll bring a couple more people up. By the way, we're also going to talk about the security situation in Lagos. Something happened in Ejigbo earlier today, and I'd like to share that good news with us, but that'll be much later. For now, let's have Olai Bironke on TikTok. Good evening. Hello, are you there? If you're on YouTube, or on Facebook, on Twitter, and you'd like to be part of the conversation, please send a message to me on Telegram at Pusui Oris, and then I will call you. All right, I don't think Olai Bironke is available. Let's have Ogbeni Agbe. Good evening. Chelsea, maybe it's the app or whatever. I don't know. People are, going. I think it's the app. Are you there? CEO, are you the one talking? Okay.
I'm not the one. I just tested.
All right. Thank you, sir. So apparently, our speakers, I think the app is not allowing them to speak. So we're going to move on to the next thing. I'm going to take everybody down, but you can send your request to come back much later. Thank you very much, CEO Olai Bironke and Madam Mimi, and also Bumblebee, who came up earlier, and Ademola. All right. I'll just read some comments here before we go on to the other topic. So let's start with YouTube and Facebook. Yomite on YouTube says, I think President Tinubu needs to do more. Some of these cheap and fake media videos being pushed out can be easily countered, and everyone in connection should be picked up and prosecuted. I agree with you 100%. Because this thing can destroy things. You might say Candace Owen has crossed the lines of Rubicon, and now she can be saved. She has created a lot of people in the process. What did she do? I mean, I acted as if I didn't hear when Madam Mimi said that. I mean, to be honest, if not for, let me not talk about Candace Owens, but I don't think, it is what it is, isn't it? So let me also say something. I think a lot of Nigerians don't like conservatives outside Nigeria, especially Nigerians in the US and in the UK. And it's understandable. People tend to be more liberal when they're outside their own space, but they get to be more conservative when they're back home. I don't know why people have issues with Candace. Candace has some issues, but I don't think it's as bad as you're making it out to look on YouTube, but it is what it is, I guess. Maybe we'll talk about that later. Shina Kilani on Facebook says, I just hope the Southeast governors will beef up security around their region, because the homegrown terrorists will start terrorizing people and blame on this particular fake audio or video. Enough said. Me. Aside the silly fake voice, that grammatical blunder would never come from Tinubu. Thank you very much for catching that. Enikon Olaye Sam Temitoku on Facebook says, who are you? This idiot talking rubbish about our president. If you're not foolish, you have understand what is going on within the power industry in Nigeria. Our boy people on YouTube says it doesn't require high intelligence to realize that voice is not Tinubu. It is embarrassing that the government couldn't do its due diligence before going public with an allegation and threats. To be fair, Bayo Onanuga did not make that in his official capacity as a spokesman to the president. to be fair, it wasn't even a statement in terms of like proper formal statement. It was just a quote of another post on X. But because of his personality, it will be taken as official regardless. But to be fair, it wasn't like the presidency responded to that deepfake. It was just by look as an individual quoting someone and say, this person who is spreading fake information needs to be checked or whatever. That's what it was. So I think it's also important, to say that right. But thank you for that comment. Let's go to TikTok. Sinchin says, not all Nigerians in UK are anti-conservative, especially if you abide by their law. Of course not. No. It's not a rigid divide. You will find Nigerians who are, literally the most senior member of the Conservative Party is Nigerian, if you can call her that. That's Kemi Bednock. So you will have Nigerians in the Conservative Party, but most Nigerians in the UK tend to be on the Labour side, and it's understandable, right? This is not a critique, by the way. It's just an observation, and it's also what you see in the US. Many of us would rather Democrat than Republican in the US. You can tell why, but we're not going to have that conversation today. But it is what it is, and we tend to understand that stuff once we go back in, to look at what conservative is at this moment. Let's go back up a bit. Sinchin says most Nigerians are educated without analytical reasoning as they have in developed which developed countries? America and so on with map or Australia. I go all over the world. Sinchin also says the late Diagbon did diagnose Nigeria's core problem as being indiscipline. Thus, he implemented why that was what war against indiscipline. And Nibu also says he will have to make a disclaimer in all Nigerian newspaper. I think he's talking about VDM, but I don't think his hubris will allow him to actually do anything close to that. So instead of saying Emiko Mosho, I didn't do that, this is the original video, this is what they've made out of it, you go on a rant insulting everybody. Again, I think it comes with age, but of course there are some people who are old that also behave like that. So some people don't grow up enough to understand that growing old is not everything. Anyway, Enigma says everything online has digital footprint. Absolutely. All right, I think we can move to the next topic now, or we have one more person who wants to speak, and then we will go on. Let's see. Thrive and Shine. I've not had you up here before, but let's see what that looks like. Good evening. Is TikTok a bit slow? I don't know. It's taking a while for people to get up. But just give him like a couple of seconds. Hello, Thrive and Shine, are you there? Hello? Hello? Please mute. Okay, you know what? I don't think this person is ready. Let's go on to the next thing. Ademola Maba says, I was also one of the idiots that once followed Obi. I think the way you are harsh with everybody, you're also harsh with yourself. So, in that, I respect you for that. Because you are quite harsh with people. So, if you are this harsh with yourself, I get it. Why would you say that? No, I wouldn't call you and the others idiots. I think we're just ignorant. And that's okay. We learn every day, don't we? But man, you don't be too harsh on yourself, eh? Bale. Okay. Greater Me says prodigal kids. Excuse me. I think people are just going at it in the comment section. And one of the things I have noticed also is that once people turn around from being obedient, they tend to be ultra conservative. I mean, beyond politics, are very, 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 very conservative Yoruba people. They're the ones who don't take crap. On Twitter, you just say something about one like they don't even want to talk to you. They're just cursing people out. I think somehow, they're trying to make up for lost time. Like, was I that dumb? I'm going to have to make up for it. All of you that come this way is bazooka. But I think it's important for us to also give grace to everybody. But it's good that you're back home now. Prodigal, like they called you in the comment section. All right, let's move on. Lagos State Police Command say here, operatives of Lagos State Police Command foiled attempt in Ejigbo, neutralized 4 gang members in gun duel. Please take a listen to this.
Crackdown on violent crime in the Ejigbo area of Lagos. In a relentless crackdown on violent crime in the Ejigbo area of Lagos State, the Lagos State Police Command has dismantled a notorious kidnapping syndicate just hours before they could execute a planned abduction of a wealthy businessman. The operation, which led to an intense gun battle near the Jakande Estate Gate in Ejigbo, successfully foiled what authorities described as a well-coordinated kidnapping mission. At exactly 9:30 p.m. on May 21st, police operatives acting on credible intelligence stormed the location after receiving information that a gang of heavily armed kidnappers had arrived in the area to abduct their targets. On sighting the operatives, the gang members opened fire, triggering a fierce exchange of gunfire. Following the tense gun duel, 4 members of the kidnapping gang were neutralized, while 1 suspect escaped from the scene with severe gunshot injuries. The Commissioner of Police, Lagos State Command, CP Tijani Fatai, revealed that the mastermind behind the Ford operation, identified as Ifeanyi, popularly known as Ifeko, is based abroad and reportedly flew into Lagos specifically to coordinate the attack.
After their activities here, and they will travel back to abroad. And when they want to come and strike again, they come back to the country and strategize. And as time strike and leave again. We got wind of this information and we were following up. The kidnapper doesn't live here, they live in the east. We are following them up from the eastern part of the country. Along the line, they now finalize their arrangement to come and strike in Lagos State. They came into with the intention of kidnapping a millionaire businessman who lives around Festac. While on their way, they made their Waterloo, and 4 of them were neutralized.
Police operatives recovered 1 AK-47 rifle with 2 magazines and 25 rounds of live ammunition, as well as 1 SMG rifle with 1 magazine loaded with 12 rounds of live ammunition. Also recovered were 1 Toyota Sienna vehicle alongside keys to a Toyota Corolla and Lexus vehicles suspected to be linked to the operation or intended targets. During the exchange of gunfire, an inspector of police sustained a gunshot injury to his leg. He was immediately rushed to the hospital and is currently responding to treatment.
The command wishes to assure all Lagosians that there will be no hiding place for criminal elements within the state. We therefore encourage members of the public to continue supporting the police with timely and credible information that will aid crime prevention, prompt response, and effective law enforcement.
Residents across Lagos State can be rest assured that the Lagos State Police Command remains fully on top of the situation, with intensified operations already underway to track down the fleeing suspect and dismantle every link connected to the criminal network.
So here is the thing. Crime has no ethnicity, right? There are thieves in, just about every ethnic group. But it is concerning that when it comes to just about every kind of evil you can think about, it looks like certain ethnicities have taken that as their own expertise, right? The other day was Baby Factory, still in this Yoruba land. So I don't know what's making them think that Yoruba land is actually a very good place for them to be able to carry out their nefarious activities. But I think it's very important for people to begin to speak up right now. I like what the policeman said, that the police spokesperson. This person not just say fine. They went to do everything from the east and then they moved to Lagos to do what they want to do. They're going to travel out of the country. So they're based abroad, but they're carrying out these terrible things in Nigeria. And nobody can tell me that the name is just Nigerian name. It's specifically from the southeast. You see, I'm glad that this is happening, all right, that security agencies are doing what they have to do. You know, I'm going to just leave this open and let people speak on the matter. But before I bring people up, there's another video I'd like to play. It's of that same event, but it's a bit longer. You hear, I mean, the speech he spokesperson here is a bit longer. I want you to just listen to the rest of what he had to say. Please take a listen to, this is the Lagos police foil Ejigbo kidnapping, neutralize 4 suspects during violent attempted abduction. Please take a listen to this.
3 AK-47 and 2 SMG, 1 revolver and short pistol, 1 fabricated pistol, 3 locally made pistol, 6 magazines, 42 live ammunition, 1 demi gun, 1 TVS motorcycle, 1 axe. Other items are used as weapons. Well, below are the summaries of the major cases and those mentioned just a few. You have the full brief after the neutralization of 4 suspects and recovery of arms and ammunition. I'm sure you must have gotten the brief of this, where our men intelligence-led operation. These are the remnants of the kidnappers that were neutralized the other time at Radical Market. I'm sure you are following. These are a group of kidnappers. There are some of them that will just come in, they don't stay in command in the state or in the country per se. And after their activities, after they would have finalized their activities.
So that's the police spokesperson talking about what they recovered after the gun duel with kidnappers and armed robbers. Kolomashowa. I didn't hear Ladikbo. I shall know it was in Ejigbo, not Ladikbo Market. That was in Ejigbo. All right. We're going to move on from that to something that happened. I mean, a speech from the governor of Oyo State, Governor Seyi Makinde. Now, I think, before you listen to this video, I'll just say this. What he's saying is right, but I think there's a little bit of politics in there that I'm not sure we need at this particular point in time. But it's important that we listen to the governor of Oyo State. He says Amotekun was our stopgap for state police. Lagos didn't join because Tinubu did not want Amotekun. FG should stop wasting our time and stop asking the IG of police to establish state police. I don't think that's what the FG is doing, but again, politicians should do what politicians do. Well, let's take a listen to the speech by the governor of Oyo State, Engineer Seyi Makinde. Take a listen, please.
This is a very tough period for me as a person and also for our state. But people will know of this administration I put together and the same thing is for a package. And it will remain a major pillar kíjọba yìí tó dé kò sí nǹkan tó ń jẹ́ Àmọ̀tẹ́kùn ní Ọ̀yọ́ state. We wanted state police. It was because our get state police ní a ṣe ṣe Àmọ̀tẹ́kùn as a stopgap. They should stop wasting Nigeria's time. Àmọ́ bá ṣe ṣe Àmọ̀tẹ́kùn, the Speaker Ọ̀yọ́ State House of Assembly 1B, we passed a common law ní gbogbo Southwest ní House of Assembly gbogbo states tó wà ní Southwest Nigeria, they passed the law. And that led to the creation of Àmọ̀tẹ́kùn. The only state still create Àmọ̀tẹ́kùn, Lagos State ni. A sì mọ ìdí tí wọn ò ṣe create Àmọ̀tẹ́kùn torí pé ẹ tó jọ̀gá wọn kò fẹ́ Àmọ̀tẹ́kùn. Bọ́ ibi tá a dé yìí, tó mọ̀ pé ajá lọ́bọ̀ fún wa. Tí wọ́n bá fẹ́ ṣe state police, don't ask the Inspector General of Police láti create state police fún wa. Our state assembly will create it. Give them the authority, the support. They are here. Within the shortest possible time, state police will come to be.
The reason why I love politicians sometimes, you know. I think there are some nuances that it's important to quickly correct before we go on, because again we discuss history. It doesn't mean that I like the governor of your state, but there's something that he said there. I don't know if Tinubu told them that he didn't want state policing, but there's something that Lagos had before Àmọ̀tẹ́kùn, and that's neighborhood watch that was doing community policing in Lagos State. This was a long time. So it would have been a duplication, so to speak, of Ishe, or you now have more people. So since there was, I mean, that was the argument Lagos gave, and I think it makes sense, to be honest. But Lagos was still, you know, in support of the entire idea of Western Region Security Network. I don't know if Tinubu had anything to do with that. Also, regardless of what the states will be able to do, the Senate also has to. So here's the thing about state policing. I think we should be a bit more honest. We should be honest. You cannot have state police in Nigeria based on the laws that we have at the moment. We can't. Even Black says Lagos does not even have any bushes that Àmọ̀tẹ́kùn will come up police. No. Àmọ̀tẹ́kùn is not about bush. Àmọ̀tẹ́kùn is actually about community policing. It's not bush policing. It just so happens that we're having a lot of issues in our forests. That is why Àmọ̀tẹ́kùn forces, especially in those states, have been in the bushes. But that's not to say that they're actually dedicated. They are not forest guards. Those ones are even different. You have forest guards. Is the idea basically is community policing, not bush policing. So yes, you can say there's no bush in Lagos, but it's not so much about bushes or forests. It's about the fact that Lagos already we had our own native police in the west. The north also had their own. The native authority police forces. The western region had them. The northern region had them. He came around and said, all of us now have one. So we understand where the problem is coming from. Like I've said several times, it's easier to destroy than to build, which is why I'm very careful with this. People are just moving mad these days. Somebody will just come, destroy something, and then the children will come later and say Nigeria is not good. Meanwhile, when they scattered everything, they took advantage of things. By the way, the police, I mean, Officer Killer was also filled with evils, right? But that's the problem. Anyway, the point is, he was the one who came up with the unification decree of May 24, 1964. All right. Of course, by 1999, we're already in for it. I said this several times. Amotekun is not even the brainchild of the governors. It was actually the brainchild of Dawn Commission, Development Agenda for Western Nigeria. That organization was formed in 2013, and they've been doing fantastic work. They're like the think tank, right? They formulate policy frameworks and things like that for the Western region. And the governors were able to get the governors buy-in, and of course the House of Assembly in all 6 states and also the National Assembly work together and were able to get Amotekun. But that's not what we really need. And so in February 2024, the governor began to talk to governors about exploring modalities for establishing state police. So if the president is really against state policing, I don't think he would have done what he did or what he started doing in 2024 by reaching out to state governors. And then by February, a bill to alter the 1999 constitution to transition police from the exclusive legislative list to the concurrent legislative list was successfully. Sorry, I have to read this again. In February 2024, a bill to alter the 1999 constitution to transition police from the exclusive legislative list to the concurrent legislative list successfully passed its second reading in the House of Representatives. That was February 2024. The lawmakers need to get the work done. It's not so much about the president, and I think we also have to be very careful how we, apportion blames. All right, and by the way, let me also say that I understand where Governor Sheyi is coming from. Is under a lot of pressure because of what happened in Oyo State, and on that you have to give him grace. He can say anything he wants to say because at this point, I can't say his job is on the line because it's almost done, but he's the one responsible as the chief security officer of his state. So he has to do everything he can to get things sorted, especially with the case in Orire local government of Oyo State. So I get where it's coming from, but I also think we should be very careful not to allow politics and emotions to, have the best of us. And so what we're waiting for right now is for these legislators to go beyond just saying that something's going to happen, to actually give us what we need. And yes, a few months ago, in March of this year, maybe we're going to read it, we might just go into it. March of this year, the Senate Committee on the Review of the 1999 Constitution begins actively processing a comprehensive 75-page proposal submitted by the Nigerian Police Force layout, which lays out the operational boundaries. So if you look at the conversation between the president and the IG, it didn't look like he was telling the IG to go and create state police. Again, politician and the governor, so he will say what he will say and it's okay. He didn't tell him to go and create state police. They're talking about the framework, because this organization already exists, which is the NPF. There's a framework that they have submitted to the National Assembly that will be worked on, which is going to be part of the process involved in the amendment of the Constitution. And I think it's important to know these basics. And then the important thing, to be fair, is that the folks in the National Assembly need to actually speed up whatever it is that they're doing. And I have a news report here. I'll quickly read it before I bring some people up. This is from National Assembly Library Trust Fund. Senate leader signals progress on state police legislation. The leader of the Senate, Senator Bamidele Okoyemi, and Vice Chairman of the Senate Committee on the Review of the 1999 Constitution, has officially confirmed that the National Assembly is actively developing a legislative framework for the creation of the decentralized police force. In a statement released yesterday, Senator Bamidele emphasized that the proposed shift towards state policing is designed to address Nigeria's evolving security challenges while reflecting the country's federal character. He assured the public that the new model will include rigorous guardrails to prevent the force from being weaponized by the political class. The National Assembly is currently reviewing a comprehensive 75-page proposal submitted by the Nigerian Police Force to the Deputy Senate President, Senator Barau Jibrin. Core objectives of the legislation include devolution of power, which is shifting policing authority to subnational levels to ensure effective governance in remote areas, Number 2, accountability mechanisms, which is about implementing checks and balances to discourage impunity and protect fundamental human rights. And the third is modernization, which is aligning Nigerian policing with global best practices and reinforce justice administration. The Parliament is committed to drafting a framework for a decentralized police model that will serve the interests of all, regardless of their status. That's from Senator Bamidele. The Senate leader lauded President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for his open support of the decentralized model, noting that the Presidency and National Assembly are working in lockstep to move beyond traditional security approaches. Bamidele credited the President's diverse initiatives for seeking to address the root causes of extremism and armed attacks. Ibo Jinodzo on TikTok says, why federal character in state police is not that they're not saying that they're going to be federal character in state policing. They're saying that the idea of state police aligns with the spirit of federal character. Is not that federal character is involved in the employment of the folks that will be working in the state police. Every state can decide exactly what they want to do. It's like state civil service. When Anambra wanted to do their own the other day, they wrote it they want people inside the health sector. They wrote it there, you must be an indigenous of Anambra state. It's under the state's purview, so they did that. If Oyo State wants to do the same thing, they can do it. Sokoto did the same thing, by the way. It's only in the southwest that we allow people from different places, which is okay to a point. When we start noticing that, it's not even about reciprocity. It's more about people taking advantage of it and making it look as if it's their right. It's a privilege. And I think it's important to begin to say it. So when it comes to policing, I don't think we would want people to make bang budget. And this is not to say that no, but at least they will not tell you that it's because the person is from another ethnicity, which is one of the nonsense that you hear, being said about different things in Nigerian political landscape at the moment. So that's the news about how far we've gone with state policing. And while I understand where the governor of Oyo State is coming from, I think it's also important to not make it look like because they're in different parties, then suddenly the president hates the idea of state police, when clearly he's been the one championing. As a matter of fact, in the message that he wrote after the children were abducted in Oyo State, which is a very, very sad and sorry, event, the last paragraph of that statement from the presidency talked about why it's important for the Senate to move faster, as far as the amendment of the Constitution is concerned. So I think it's important not to, get too carried away with politics, like I think is what's happening in that speech by the Oyo State governor. But yeah, I understand where it's coming from. It's under pressure, and it's understandable. We're going to have some people come up to share their thoughts. And then, in fact, 1 second before I go, one ball. All right. So I'm going to have some people come up to share their thoughts before we move on to other things. Please keep it short. As soon as you get up, please mute. All right. And then we'll call on you to drop your submission. Before we go, let me just read this final paragraph I mentioned earlier in the speech that the president released on May 18, 2026. It says, cases of kidnapping further make imperative the establishment of state police to man some of our undeserved areas. The National Assembly should accelerate the enactment of the law creating state police, the president said. So it's important not to, politicize these things and make it look as if the presidency is against the idea of state policing. All right, having said that, let's have some people share their thoughts. Please keep it short, and we will be wrapping up stuff. Please mute as soon as you get up. Thank you very much. If you join us for the first time, I want to thank you for joining us on YouTube, on TikTok, on Facebook, Twitter, and on Twitch. We do have these sessions every weekday, Mondays to Fridays, 4 p.m. Ife time, West African time. So we're having this interesting conversation today. Please mute. Please mute. Oh dear. Please send your request again at the glow. So we're having this conversation today, and we're going to be here again tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll be talking about the Civil War, actually. All right. But thank you very much for listening. Let's have some submissions here. Please mute as soon as you get up stage. Please mute. Thank you. Let's have Bumblebee. Good evening, Bumblebee.
Good evening.
Again.
For bringing me up again.
Yeah.
So, first of all, let me just put this out there. We can't have a situation where we have one point of failure for the security architecture of every state. So what we need to do is basically, I think it has become obvious that we need to restructure the police architecture of Nigeria. We need to bring the need to fast track the creation of state police. But I know why they might be dragging their feet. Because if you have state police, you can have some nefarious characters like, people like Ojukwu and all try to, corner that and, try to turn it into a small hand, just like what they do with Biafra and all that. So they are trying to drag their feet. They are probably weighing all the consequences that may come off it. What are the worst case scenarios that may come off it? And at the end of the day, you just find out that normally move fast in making all these things is still the nature of character of some individuals. So I think it's very, very important. It's very sacrosanct. Number one. Also, you can't have a law enforcement. Yes, there are security outfits, Kantita, Amoteco and all, but you can't really call them law enforcement. They are just security outfits. When you have law enforcement, there's a reason they call it enforcement. You have to have the ability to enforce law, and that comes with bearing arms. So before you start giving rights to all the state security architectures to bear arms, there are things that need to be put in place for them to have their armories. Then when they have that, they can decide to what level they need to arm those people, which we've already, I think we've discussed in some capacity here. So they need to work on that, and they need to fast track it, but it is very important. It can't be overstretched. You can't say it enough. We need to have law enforcement in every state. Now, apart from having law enforcement in every state, you need a very, very solid federal law enforcement, just like they have it in the US. You have the state police, you have the troopers, you have the interstate, you have all that. Then you now have the FBI. So there are states that there are crimes that are pursued by the federal police because maybe the level of criminality that is involved, the scale of it, like serial killers and all that, level of intelligence, the amount of resources you need to put into it. So that would give. So if you have 36 states or 37, federal capital, included, you have different police forces on those levels. Now, if there's an issue brewing in a particular state, those very, very smart set of federal police officers, very, very dedicated and smart people with very high resources, they can go to that state. First of all, if they need to scrutinize the state police force itself, number one, they will try to localize what the problem is. So, to spread any other place, they bring all those places, they would have been able to know, okay, who is responsible, whose head is going to roll in this state. Is the governor dropping the ball? Is it the state commissioner of police that is dropping the ball? Is it the investigators? Is it the rank and file of everything? So where has it spread to? They'll be able to limit the cancer from spreading all the way around the country. And if something is really, really going on and it's crazy in a particular state, the governor has the discretion to employ as many people as possible and give them guns to enforce law in those states. And if it comes to a point where, whether we pay the government in this state is complicit, it should be very, very obvious because you don't have any excuse for you not to enforce law in your state. You have the money to buy the guns, you have the money to recruit people to the number you need, which is why I keep stretching the fact that what LASMA is doing in Lagos. LASMA is doing in Lagos and they are getting smarter by the day with what LASMA is doing, No matter how clogged up a place is, before you know, want to communicate, want to free up the traffic and everything. And they are really doing a good job with it. That's a litmus test for whether it will work at the national level. It has shown that it will work. So they need to fast track it. I give kudos to what the president has done. Now, the story of the parable of the servants, the one with the 5 talents, the one with the 2, and the one with the 1 talent. Lagos State is like a state that has 5 talents, while some other states, because of maybe the lack of resources or human capacity, with 1 talent. And Lagos State needs that, and a lot of states need that to be able to maximize the talent they have in their state. So, now I said I was going somewhere with the talent illustration. Number one, the things that they've done, the tax reform, and giving opportunities for the subnationals to be able to manage their own budgets, manage their own resources and everything, giving money to the subnationals is very, very important. So there will be no excuse for anybody. The last thing they need to do, laying tax reform and all those other things they've done, is for, and of course, power generation. They've decentralized it. People are just shouting, there are things that they have done. If any state governors knows what is doing, they have everything they need. The last thing we need is security. Now, as much as you are creating independent power generation, you are having your own tax generation opportunity in your state, you can allocate resources within your state. You need to be able to protect what you have built in your state. So the last thing, is state police. And you are going to see this country get so much better. When they can localize that problem and solve the problem wholeheartedly with federal authority and federal might and federal resources. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Bumblebee. There's a question on YouTube from Whitey Kubo. She says, what law was used to establish the civilian JTF that successfully pushed Boko Haram out of Maiduguri? The same tool can be used and applied to fight bandits and kidnappers in the southwest forests. I agree, but I think they are two different things. So, just like Bumblebee said, the JTF will fall in security agencies category, not law enforcement. And just like we have civilian JTF in the north, we also have Tantita in the Niger Delta. They work with the government. They are also what's the word now? They are not the ones that enforce law in society. They are not police force, and they don't have independence to just do whatever they want to do. They are subject to certain agencies of government within that locality or that state. For instance, the CJTF, the civilian JTF, for instance, has the Ministry of Justice oversight. They are able to actually, they are the ones who create the framework that they work with, okay, within which they work. So something similar to that would be the Rekun that Sunday Igboho is trying, that he has created, would be similar to Tantita or something like that. They can get into the forest. But the conversation is actually about state policing. That one requires the amendment of the constitution, because now you are creating another law enforcement, agency in all the states across Nigeria. And it's not bad, but you can't do it without changing the law. All right, and it's totally different from civilian JTF or Tantita or Ureku, which I think now is also has been registered and will be working in the forest to chase out those people who are there. But again, these are some of the limitations that people have, right, from the constitution in Nigeria, particularly section 214, which talks about the fact that we're only going to have one body. I'll see if I can read to you again. There shall be a police force for Nigeria, which shall be known as the Nigerian Police Force, and subject to the provisions of this section, no other police force shall be established for the Federation or any part thereof. If we really do it well, the way it should be, is not that the police force in Oyo State is subservient to the Nigerian Police Force. If you really think about it, Nigerian police force at the end of the day will now be like FBI. When you have like interstate issues, that's when you begin to think about them. Not when you are it's not like in your state you have police force, then I talk to Kiniko. As a matter of fact, you can do without the national police or the Nigerian police force in those states once they have their own state police force. So that means that you're actually dealing with a law enforcement agency, not a CJTF that is answerable to the Nigerian Army or the Ministry of Justice. All right, let's quickly listen to Adeglo as we begin to wrap up today. Good evening, Madam Adeglo. But please keep it short. Okay, I think she's not even here at the moment. We're going to have CEO and then Olabode. Let's have Olabode, please. I think Madam Ade's mic is not unmuted yet.
Alpha.
I'm good. Good evening. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you. I think both President Tinubu and Seyi Makinde are playing politics in their own ways, and I really hate the fact that we play politics with people's lives. But on the national scale, let me go with national first. Surprisingly, I'm beginning to believe that a push for state policing wouldn't go through. I think it will fall by the wayside. And I think this because it will be shocking how much, it will be shocking that it's only a popular view in certain parts of the country. And I think the South-South, major parts of the South-South will go for it. I think the Southwest will go for it totally. I think some parts of the Middle Belt, North Central-ish will go for it. But I do believe the Northwest, Northeast, and the Southeast will be vehemently against it. Now, there are reasons I wouldn't, there are expressed feelings I wouldn't know yet, but I've seen how our Ohaneze group is pushing back already. You know, they've not detailed why they are against it, but I think they'll push back against it for politics. That's one. But I do believe the government, if it fails, then we know it's Nigerians that rejected it, right? That's it. And so that's why I think Tinubu is playing politics. With Seyi Makinde, I think it's not enough to be aggrieved, right? I think you can be aggrieved and still be graceful and be truthful. You know, you are talked about part of the Amotekun network, you know, and with Seyi Makinde posturing as if he led the Amotekun process is even shocking for me, because it was done commission, but the face of it was also Aketi, right? And Aketi only waited till the second term to become the face of it, which is a problem I have with all of them. They wait for second term. I don't understand why you have to wait for second term to save people's lives, you know. So those are the problems I have with these two people, and I think they have to just work together, regardless of their political differences, to save the lives of the people. Because for me, when you interest anybody law, whether Tinubu, whether Makinde, whether, I don't care who you are. And me and one Yoruba Jew interest anybody law. So it's not enough for us to say we have a child as a president while people are dying. Anyways, not too much to say here, but yeah, what I sent to you, read it. I want to be involved in the next room you have on it. Thank you.
All right, thank you. I think I've actually had a room on that particular stuff before. The document from I mean, but we'll see. We'll see. But thank you very much for your, as we begin to wrap up, and then we'll go back to, you know, where we started. Good evening, CEO. Adeglo says, is Makinde going for the second term too? No, Makinde is done. This is the second term. That it's over.
Okay.
That's a party. Yeah, CEO.
Yeah. He wants to be president now, so he has to do a little bit of politics.
Well, there's that.
Okay, yes, I was hoping, and I don't know, anytime you are able to lay your hands on the proposal for the state police, it's a document I will be interested in studying, because I know it's something that may not happen this year, because there's a lot of legislation issues that has to be resolved, and then they also have to resolve the command structure as well, and situate it appropriately, and also to mitigate against those that may want to hijack the process or hijack the police for other nefarious acts. Now, away from that, I also want to talk about Amotekun. I think there is a defect in the command structure for Amotekun. And when this was being set up, I thought it was going to be like some sort of an intelligence-driven organization, not just kinetic. But the only thing I see, or majorly what I see, is just the kinetic aspect of it. Nigeria doesn't have a satellite, but there are a lot of roaming satellites across in orbit that we can pay for to actually map the entire southwest region. And then when images come out, like I've seen image of, I think actually a video of the students being tortured. I mean, the students were napped in Oyo State being tortured. So what that does is that you can take that image and do an image matching with what the satellite image is, because you have already mapped the entire space. You can now do an image mapping. Sorry, excuse me. And then you can do an image mapping and then do a like a how do I put it now? Like a geolocation matching with that to be able to pinpoint exactly, precisely where those people are. I mean, people have been taken out from our hands, I mean, almost like about 10 days now. And there's no, it appears as if there's no movement, there's no feedback as in to say, okay, we are close to them, we're almost near them, we have seen them, we know where they are, we are talking to them. There's just no news. Everything is just dead. And it gives me some concern. It makes me worry, because if for this set, we are not able to immediately intervene, locate, and retrieve them, then if other ones now happen, how do we respond to them? So while we're waiting for the state police, I think we need to begin to rejig the current security architecture that we have so that it will be more effective in tackling the clear and present danger that we have right now. And I think, I mean, that's my take on that. Then
Hello? Oh, okay. I think he's muted now because I can't hear him. Can you hear me, please? Because I can't hear CEO.
I can hear you perfectly.
Okay, great. So I think it's CEO that's having issues then. All right. So here's the thing. We'll see if we can get that document. I don't think it's in the public domain. But if we're able to lay our hands on it, we're going to talk about it, right? But there's this thing about the bill there's a bill analysis of the Constitution of the Republic of Nigeria alterations, so on and so forth. You know, we'll talk about all of these things when I've read it, so that I'll be speaking from a place of knowledge. But yeah, it's been a lovely ride. Of course, looking at the situation with VDM and Tinubu, which I'm going to end with, but again, with the security in the Southwest, we're glad that the police were able to, you know, tackle those who were trying to abduct, you know, the businessman in Ejigbo. And like someone said on YouTube, that some people would say they actually targeted Ifeanyi. Why did they say Ifeanyi? Well, they said Ifeanyi because his name is Ifeanyi. It's quite interesting that these people also live abroad, but decided to, you know, come and, you know, have that kind of activity. Have that kind of activity in Nigeria and then fly back wherever, you know. But then, of course, the police were able to gun 4 of them down, and I think they also got the other Ifeanyi guy. But of course, the larger conversation is about security in Yoruba land generally and what governors need to do. And we listened to the governor of Oyo State talking about the need for state policing. But of course, he also inserted some politics in there by saying that the president is against it, which I don't believe to be true, because the president is one of the people championing the creation of state police. However, we know that a 75-page framework was submitted by the Inspector General of Police to the Senate. But we're going to see what that is actually about. We've been hearing about it. I've not been able to get my hands on the document itself, but if anybody finds the document, or maybe you work with Nigeria's National Assembly and you are able to get it, by the way, only give us if you're allowed, child. Don't put yourself in trouble. But we'll see how that goes. When we have it, we'll discuss it. But the important thing is, even the discussion is actually the establishment of state police. And we hope that that happens as soon as possible. With the thing about weaponization of tech, I said earlier, there's a lot of deep fakes that will be coming out towards the 2027 elections. People have been planning for this kind of thing since 2023, and we have a video that we played earlier where people saying things like, it doesn't really matter if it's the truth, it's time to push up propaganda about President Bola Tinubu and APC and Yoruba people and whatever. And it looks like they're really, really, really doing it. So you've got to be aware. And when you see things online, don't be moved to quickly respond. Try and calm down and actually observe and compare stuff before you rush, you know, to jump to conclusion. Like what happened with VDM. Yes, they doctored the president's voice because that definitely wasn't Tinubu. but they also used VDM's video and even created a platform on TikTok and on Twitter with VDM videos and stuff on, on those pages. So it's important for us to be very, very patient, especially with the kind of information or misinformation that will be flying all around the place, especially as elections draw nearer. There's a video I'd like to end with. Is actually was a space that was held on Twitter a while back, and it's titled "Bigotry has not even started. Don't start crying yet." Now, some of these things, right? You can tell how people think, and that's why you notice that there is you see the similarities between the stuff that Peter Obi was reading out in 2023, trying to blackmail the rest of the people, saying things like, there is a group chat, a Yoruba man said, what the most stupid Yoruba person cannot write that kind of thing, let alone the wise, average Yoruba person, right? The most stupid one will not say, oh, Igbos are trying to get our thing, so we should not vote for them, because if you vote for them, they will take their investment to the southeast. That's really what I want. I want you to go and invest in your home. If you are not homeless, why must it be that you have to be everywhere else but home? So why would a Yoruba person say that they have a problem with the Igbo person investing in his own state? This is actually the mindset of the average Igbo person, especially when it comes to political landscape. They don't think things through. And if you think I'm joking, you will probably make up your mind after listening to this. Please take a listen to this particular clip.
We get your point. Thank you very much. You just brought.
There's
Discover the future.
no need. See, if Peter Obi doesn't want to, if he wants to be president, that is his own personal ambition. It's not our own ambition. So let nobody give you that excuses of you are trying to make other Yorubas that are supporting Peter Obi not to change their mind. They should fucking change their mind. Peter Obi's presidency will not change me. It will not change even 30% of Igbo population. So let us die down all those politics of a thing. We have not started the bigotry, and that is paining me. We have to create bigotry WhatsApp group where we now edit and start distributing them, telling fake stories. We have to. In fact, we will pay to put it on BBC, CNN, all Fox News, Al Jazeera, so that people will start seeing all these things. Let us start changing the narrative. Men, you are doing what you are not supposed to do. Because if it's bigotry, we have to start doing the real propaganda. We have to start painting the color. We don't have to start bringing real stories. Real stories are not bigotry. We have to start bringing fake ones, give it highlighted headlines, take it up from there, run with it. And for crying out loud, when we are growing up, we heard they are the most educated tribe. The Igbo race was the first people that embraced education in Nigeria. Go and fact check. That was why the so-called leader Awolowo brought the fake for them to catch up. And still yet they didn't catch up. If you bring out a Yoruba first class and stand that person with an Igbo first class in any field, in any discipline, and compare. Let us compare, because you cannot tell me people that are intellectually sound in their own town or region will now see a Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the preferred candidate to lead them. So their leader defines who they are. Your leader defines who you are. Do you understand? You cannot run away from your leader. The people that are not supporting, that are quiet, they are also supporting. That's their nature. Look at, for instance, take a look at during 2023 elections. You can never see any Yoruba in opposition castigating Tinubu, but it was only the Igbos in opposition that are castigating Peter Obi. Check. You can never see them talk about Tinubu ills. It was only the Igbos from that nonsense prof in Anambra that is writing his useless letter. His own case is coming up. We will deal with him. We will deal with that. What we will stop doing is allowing any Igbo man in Igbo land, to stay in Igbo land to denigrate Igbo people, just like what Nsogbu is doing. No Yoruba has that right to do it in Yoruba land. No, now on, we have to create our bigotry WhatsApp group. We have to start going live on TikTok. We have to start going live on Facebook with videos, pictures, news headlines, edited news headlines with far back dates, new dates. You know, these are bigotry. We have to spread it. We'll translate it in Igbo, we translate it in Yoruba, we translate it in Hausa, we translate it in all languages, French. Nupe will do that. That's the highest they can do is not to vote P2B. And who will P2B help? Who is P2B? In terms of Igbo leaders, P2B don't rank number 1. Let me not lie to you. So he can keep his...
Dr. Never reach first 5.
So who is P2B? Why will you... Anybody threaten you with vote about P2B? Is P2B coming to build your father's house? Or is making P2B president, will he buy you food? Enough of that nonsense. You know, enough. We don't have to tolerate that. If any Yoruba obedient feels that this time we have to sacrifice P2B's presidency and keep no, let P2B go to hell and burn to ashes. You know, we don't have to. If they are not ready, we'll support the Hausas and go with Atiku. Let Nigeria scatter, for crying out loud. Who is even interested in good governance? Who is good? Since they bomb me, I don't experience good governance. We are talking about good governance. I know what is good governance. I don't know what is good governance, and I don't know how good governance is to do everything we have to do. This time around, get on your laptop, start doing the propaganda. Let us start editing the headlines. Let us start changing the narrative. If you want to support, now that the North are falling apart, let us join them and destroy the whole thing. That's how it works. That's how bigotry works. Bigotry is joining your enemy's enemy to destroy your enemy. You know, that's the real bigotry. Do you understand?
Right. Yeah, doctor, we get your point.
I don't know.
We get your point. Thank you very much. You just broke.
I think, you know, people have every right to be stupid, but to be stupid in public, I think that's something you don't want to do. But it gives an idea, and there are other videos, but that's the only one I want to play right now. It gives you an idea how certain people think, and when you say let's just cut everything, that's what I was saying. This whole thing about emergency law for Nigeria has nothing to do with the country. They don't care if the country goes to the dogs as long as they get what they want. And if they don't get what they want, they should destroy everything. These are the people that are telling you about how to build a better Nigeria. They don't care about a better Nigeria. And so when you hear that certain things are coming out now, just understand that you've been hearing it for a bit, that they're going to create this and create that. And they're very stupid, because if you're going to be stupid this way, at least do it in Koro, do it in your room. To now come out means that you're not just stupid, you're very stupid. You're literally just saying everything. And you know the funny thing, you're not even trying to hide it, which is quite interesting. Makes it quite easy for people to know exactly how smart you are. But again, just gives you an idea that the legacy of Zik, of Ojukwu, of Achebe, that legacy of propaganda, and I say Achebe again, I don't mention these names out of disrespect. Achebe was literally the director of Radio Biafra. So this is not a jab, okay? Just like Uche Chukwumerije. These people, that's what they did. And whatever it is they left behind, I think is what these clowns are now taking up to just spread misinformation as long as it further your cause. And here's the crazy part. You think it's furthering your cause until you discover that you're actually destroying yourself in the process. But hey, it's your, burial. Hopefully everybody will be all right. It's been nice having today's session. We'll be here again tomorrow at 4 p.m. Ife time, West African time. So please join us tomorrow. We'll be going deep into the conversation about the war. There's something that we said the other day. I think we should revisit tomorrow. All right. And the other things we're going to be talking about, the book that I talked about the other day, I'm still, I'm enjoying it. So we'll have a bit more stuff to talk about by the time. I think that I don't have to finish the 800 and something pages. I didn't read enough to be able to have like a robust conversation on it. So let's give it till next week. I'm talking about the book by Yakubu Gowon, My Life of Duty and Allegiance. And I also said that if you want the book, you can order. If you want any book, by the way, not just this book, please go to Redomi Books on Telegram. Redomi is spelled REDOMI Books. Redomi Books on Telegram, and you can order books. The books will be delivered to you wherever you are in the world. But this book has been good so far. So I'm seeing things that have to do with his upbringing, how his father was an evangelist, and actually affected, or let me use the word influenced, many of the things that General Gowon did. We'll talk about this definitely next week. But tomorrow we're going to have a great time together, 4 p.m. Ife time, West African time. We're talking about Nigerian history as it has to do with it's not even so much the war, but the claims that some people are making, especially when they ask for the ridiculous reparations. I'm wondering, who on earth are they expecting to give them that? But of course, if you're a victim or you have a victim mindset, you rarely think things through before you utter it, because as far as you're concerned, you just want to be a victim, but they'll be all right. Before we go, we're going to listen to our anthems. We have the Nigerian anthem and also the Yoruba anthem. Someone says here sorry, let me just read a few comments before we play the anthems. Sinchin says, I hope the audio record is regularly played as a reminder of Igbo's agenda against Yoruba. Well, which is why I also say to Yoruba people, there's anything that you want to do, hopefully, clearly you have to do things that are legal, that are, sensible. Number two, and I see a lot of things that people are doing. People try to do it here too, but I have to curb it. There are some things that so this is how you know what people are doing. Adetunji says they started by creating VDM Tinubu video. No, this is the latest creation. There are other things that have been created in the past, but it is what it is, I guess. Here's Nigerian anthem. After this, I'm going to play the Yoruba anthem. Enjoy. Please sing along if you know the lyrics. If not, please learn the lyrics.
Nigeria, we hail thee, our own dear native land. Though tribe and tongue may differ, in brotherhood
àwa ni ìmọ́lẹ̀ adúláwọ̀ ìmọ́lẹ̀ wo ni wọ́kùn lágbára Ọlọ́run lẹ́yìn bó ní bàjẹ́ Nàìjíríà náà ní bàjẹ́ ilé wa ọ̀nà wa ò ní bàjẹ́ wọn tó dàbí kújẹkújẹ ọlọ́ba àmúkúrò. I pray that God bless you and the work of your hands. May God bless Nigeria. May God bless your land. And may God help, every one of us and give us the wisdom that we're required to be able to build a better nation, Yoruba land, and a better country, Nigeria. Thank you very much for being part of today's session. I'll see you again tomorrow at 4 p.m. Thank you, my battlefield. Thank you, sir. I'll see you tomorrow at 4 p.m. Ife time, West African time. Do have a lovely, lovely evening. God bless you. Odaro Eshel.